Buddies, it's Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. I am coming to you on Monday, October 6th, and it is 11:41 p.m. here in Wisconsin in the United States. And I am going to get my other devices set up so I can see if anybody joins me on the live. And we'll check my sound. I think I should probably be okay. Give me just a minute to put my little welcome message on here and we'll get going. All right, we are ready to go. Couple of quickie announcements, and I'll try to fly through them quick. I figured out why I've been coming on so much later lately. Last night we were talking about my clock and how loud it ticks that my phone microphone could pick it up. Well, I think the battery was kind of loose on it, so it was running slower and slower and slower, and that clock was behind. So that's what I was kind of using when I go on. It's like, oh, I got a few more minutes, and that's why it was almost midnight every night. So I'm going to try to back up the clock a little bit and start a little earlier. So anyway, let's do these quickie announcements. First day of these kit sales discounts is done, just about. Wednesday or Tuesday and Wednesday are the last days for this sale. Kits are 10 to 30% off. It does not include paper pumpkin kits. It does not include scrapbooking kits, and it does not include the starter kit. Although I did find out in a meeting today that if you order kits as part of your starter kit, the kit should still be on sale in your starter kit. So you get more bang for your buck if you needed or wanted. And is there really any difference? If you need it, you want it, right? But if you added some of those to your starter kit to join, you'd get more bang for your buck. There's also last chance products. These can be put in a starter kit as well. And a lot of these are really good deals too. So think about that. We've got some new products. We've got a craft class coming up. It's a virtual class, October 23rd. It's available for purchase. On my store, the item number is 170073. This is the first virtual craft class, Stampin' on Bastogne, so I'm really interested to see how that's going to go. If you've got questions, let me know. This 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar is available. I'm pretty sure it's available. I didn't check the stock. I should probably have done that. But if you want to order this, the order number is 167335. It comes with a bunch of stuff. I did an unboxing the other day. You get this stamp set that's got 24 stamps in it. This great box that's got a lot of elements that you could like deconstruct the box and make some things out of. Even some of you that do junk journaling. This back page I thought was really pretty. But you can see it's pretty thick. It's 2 inches thick. And there are 12 compartments. I opened up every one of them. And there are goodies in all of them. There's dies in a couple of them. There's embellishments in a couple of them. There's designer series paper. There's just a ton of stuff in here. So maybe tomorrow I will start making some projects with this so you can kind of see what it is and whether you really want to purchase it or not, because it is kind of expensive at $99. But if you join my team, get your starter kit, you could order this afterwards and get a 20% discount. Just a thought. All right, and since I've been mentioning this starter kit, this is the best starter kit I've ever seen Stampin' Up! Have. And even some of the gals that I know that have been in Stampin' Up! For like over 20 years say they've never seen a starter kit like this. You can pick out $125 worth of product. So that's product you want, not what somebody else picks out and sends to you, which used to be like $300 back in the day. They used to have to pay $300 to join, and then they got whatever they got. Now you get to pick out everything you want, but you get $125 worth for only $35. So that's $90 worth of free product. You get a free paper pumpkin kit, free shipping, and some business products if you want those, but you don't have to make it into a business. And then if you're going to order, or if you're thinking about ordering a larger item like a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine that's more than $125, you would want to do this $189 option, because you're still getting $90 worth of free. But on this one, you can't go over the 125. This one, you can't go over 189. So if you've got a larger item that you want to purchase, this might be the one to consider, or still this one, because it's only $35. Who wouldn't want a $35 deal like that? But if you want more information on that, send me a message, or you can email me at loriMacari@gmail.com. I would be more than happy to welcome you to my team. It has been a busy week. So my team has grown. One of my two new team members has gotten some people to tag along with her. So it's been a busy week. Exciting times. So Saturday we had World Card Making Day, and we had, what did I do with the instructions? Here they are. We had this Handmade and Heartfelt Kit that was a featured item, and the box that these come in is really sturdy. And these have adhesive already on them, the dividers, so that you can put everything in, and it keeps it nice and sturdy. So there'd be a place to put your cards and envelopes, maybe a pen, your postage stamps, whatever you want to deem in here for like a desk organizer. So that comes in the kit. And then you get the makings for 5 different card designs, 2 of each design. So I made 1 of each design. All right, so here's this one here, really cute. It's got like a little heart sunburst behind there, so you can kind of see the card base peeking through. And yesterday we did an alternate card, which doesn't look anything like that one, but I used the starburst as basically a mask to do the background, and then I used I don't remember, Love and Courage. That's the stamp set that I used here, and I added some elements from some of the new autumn products. So that's what I did for that one. And then for this card, this is the one from the kit. Certainly much cuter. Hello, Tess. How are you? I'm not sure you've been here before, so welcome. If you have been, I apologize. I don't recognize the name, so I think it's been a bit since you've been here. But I'm glad you're piping in. Where are you joining from? And there is just a brief delay on my chat screen. So if I don't answer right away, I either missed it or it's still coming through. But here's this card, and it turned out much cuter than what I thought it would be there. It's adorable in person. And then yesterday when I was doing the alternatives, this is what I turned this into. So totally different. So I used this circle punch out piece where all those laser cut circles came out of. We have a bunch of those. We have 20 of those. Well, not anymore because I put some here. But you might be able to see where I did some masking with that, and I added some extra petal pink to make that design. I then put it through an embossing folder that something circle of dots or something. I don't remember what it's called. And then I used the dies from, I think those were my Stylish Shapes dies, and I cut out these circles. Oh, it is your first time. Well, I'm glad I didn't miss you before. I'm good, thanks. So welcome. I'm glad you've popped in. So when I craft, I'll take things, but I also encourage whoever's watching to give suggestions as to what they think might make it look better. All right, so we'll get there. All right, but then I just used the dies and just laid things out and made it just totally different. It looks like a whole different card to me. All right, so that is that one. I'm gonna set that over here, and then we did this one, and this turned out a lot cuter than I expected it as well. Now, I still have the elements from these, and I'm kind of stuck on how to make it look different. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut these apart, and I'll make this a layer, and I'll make this a layer. And I'm not sure what I'll do with this. I might even just cut it down so that I've got like a strip for a sentiment. We'll see if we get to that one or not. And then we have this one, which is actually a coral piece. I thought that was a tree laser cut out of there. So I'm a little stuck with this one too, because I feel like I want to turn that into a tree trunk. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. But this base, all of the bases actually had design along the front and the back. So that was pretty cool. And then I also have this one that, where did I have that here. So this is this card here. Turned out really cute. This is like a little starburst laser cut on there. These little dashes, if you can see them, they're all cut through. All right. So that was really cute. And then there's coordinating envelopes. They are all the same, but you have an envelope for each of the 10 cards. All right. So we're going to play with some of this. I'm going to move some of this out of my way because I'm not sure which ones we'll get to tonight. I'm not sure if we'll get to all of them because I'm kind of stuck with this piece too. And I don't know what else I want to do with this. And I accidentally used it as a mask on both sides. So we'll see what happens. But for now, I think we are going to start with this card. So what I wanted to do is, I'm going to use this banner for the sentiment, but this one I want to cut apart. So I'm going to end up using this as a layer someplace else. So let me go ahead and get my trimmer. So Tess, are you, what kind of crafter are you, I guess? Are you a demonstrator? Are you a hobbyist? Do you do other crafts? And then I'm just going to cut this frame off of here because I don't really need that on there. There are a bunch of gals that join me that do junk journaling. And one of them is, I know she was doing her live before I started. So she is probably still doing her live. And that's Craftin on the back 40, maybe? Something like that. Mama Juju, Craftin on the back 40. All right, so we've got this down to 5 inches. So I'm going to cut these all at 1 inch and 1/16, just because I think that'll get me close to where I want to be. And I'm using the markers that are on the right side of my trimming track. Hey, Sala, welcome. We're still reworking some of these from Saturday's kit box. So I want to make sure that I keep these in order too, because I want to keep my design intact. But I tried to do a little bit of math, and I think 1 inch and 1/16 is pretty close to what I want. We'll see. And then this little narrow piece is a piece that I'm not likely to use. All right, so these are still all intact. And then I want to cut this piece down to a layer size. So instead of 5.5, I'm going to take it to 5.25. And then, yep, this is Tessa's first time here. And then instead of 4.25, I'm going to take it to 4. And I'm using this base because that color, it's Lost Lagoon, goes with some of the banner colors in here. And I thought what I would do is just kind of line these up in here and make kind of a split banner. So if I spread these out maybe just a little bit more, or I could make that piece. Hey, Juju, I was just talking about you. Were your ears ringing? I thought you might still be live, because you were live when I was getting mine started. So welcome. So it'll probably look something like that, because that's pretty evenly spaced. Oh, it's raining here too. So if you fall asleep, you fall asleep. That's all right. That's all right. Thanks for popping in though. So that's just going to carry the design over there. And then I thought this piece, because we've got the Secret C in there, I thought that would work just like that. Just a nice, basic, simple card. They don't all have to be complicated, right? And then our more complicated feature is going to come here with our sentiment, because I'm going to emboss with Secret C and then with Versamark, and we're going to put clear embossing paste on, or embossing powder on top of that, and heat emboss it so it's shiny. Because these, like this one, it's very matte finish. All right, it looks like it was run through a printer, not inked and stamped. So I want to make sure that I raise that up and just give it a little elevated look. So I think what I'm going to do here is start gluing these right away, and then we'll do the embossed piece later. And I'm going to go ahead and pop open my new glue bottle, just because the other one has been needing a lot of tough love to getting glue out. So we'll start with this one. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with a middle piece. And I'm going to leave those other three right where they are to help with the spacing. And I'm just putting a very thin layer of glue all around here. And we'll just line this up to the bottom line of those other panels. And try to have it evenly spaced. Now I could try to measure, but for those of you that have crafted with me before, you know I eyeball most of my things. Hello, Nicole. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right, and this one will just pop in here. So we're just doing this one is just a very basic remake of this banner card from World Card Making Day. And I cut these. So this piece was on, it was framed with this as the back, this beige, basic beige color. So I cut the framing off and then saw it was right about 5 inches. So I cut these panels to 1 1/16 each. And then I have just this little extra piece. I think that goes on this end. But I think I'll end up putting that on the inside just as a little decoration maybe. We'll see. I usually don't take the time to decorate the insides with all of you watching, because I figure you don't really need to see me do that. You know how to do that. All right, so there's those. So then I could put this up on dimensionals. What do you think? Should we have that lifted or glued flat? Oh, thank you, Sella. It's nice to have a cheerleader, somebody to remind. All right, so I'm going to let that sit. You can let me know if you think it should be raised up on dimensionals or not. And then what we're going to do with this, let me bring my clear, and I made sure ahead of time I've got the clear, because the other day I made that mistake that I accidentally put white on it, and it didn't look how I wanted it to look. I'm going to take my embossing buddy and just get a little bit of powder on here to reduce any static. And then let's get our Versamark over here. We're going to do, I'm also going to get my Stampin' Pearson mat. And we're going to go this way. We're going to put, oh, that's not what I wanted to do either. See, I almost messed up. Let me clean that off. I want to put it in the Versamark first. Let's stamp this off. I want to put it in the Versamark first so that when I put the stamp down, the Versamark is the top layer of ink. All right, so let's do this again. We're going to do the Versamark first. And I'm going to do a healthy dotting of that. Now we're going to put it on the Secret C. And now we're going to put it on here. And the Versamark will be the top layer, or at least the sentiment would be cool raised. We can do that. And then I'm going to put, I have my fan on, so I want to get this covered quickly. All right. It was a little stuffy in here, so I turned the ceiling fan on. All right. So it looks white right now, but when we get that embossing powder set on here, we'll be able to see the blue come through. And I think that's all the embossing I'm going to do tonight. So let me get my little reverse tweezers here. And there's one little piece on there. Whoops. There's one little piece on there that doesn't belong there. I don't want to mess up the whole thing, so I'm trying to be super careful. That should be good. All right. Get a little heat here. And let's try to watch some magic. There we go. Nice. All right. Get that out of the way. So from this one to this one, I like the embossed one much better. I don't know if you can see the shimmer of the letters or not, but it makes a big difference. So when you're looking at it in person, this one looks much more vibrant than the one that was just stamped yesterday. All right, so let's do some dimensionals here. Yeah, I love the embossing powder. It's just such a fun element to put on there. So we'll put this up on dimensionals and see if we want to put the panel up or not. And then I'm just going to put that on. I don't want to cover up that whole banner, I guess. I'm going to put this up a little bit. All right, and then if we lift this a little bit, it'll give it some more dimension, but it might actually look better if it's flat. So we'll just do it flat. And I did this one so it was like a hot dog fold rather than like a tent fold that could flatten out. All right, so then let's use some of these Lost Lagoon sequins. We'll just put a few of those on there and add a little glitz. Three or five, you decide. So right now I've just got 3 and the birthday shimmer. We can always add more later. All right, that's that one, done. And then if I put like a Lost Lagoon, 05, okay. Why not, right? I don't know where we want to put the other ones though. Maybe just over here. like confetti. We'll go with the confetti that's all over that panel. So if I put a Lost Lagoon piece in here, or oh, that piece won't work. Well, it could actually. I could put, since I'm kind of stuck on this anyway, I don't know what to do with it. I could put this in here with a white piece on top for the sentiment. And then I could also still put that there, but I might not need it. We'll see. I can always do that part later. I might want to use this as a mask. We'll see. All right, so there's our first card. All righty, let's go to card number 2. So this one, that would be a great scrap card when your piece is just too little to cover the front. Yeah, definitely. All right, so this one, I used an envelope. So all I did was I cut a very slim slit here, like a 1/16 of an inch on each side, so that when I open it up, these little tabs are still stuck on here. I could probably cut another one so you get the idea of what I'm really talking about. So I just took this and I just at the very minimal edge, I took off the fold. Then I'm going to flip it over, and again, just a very minimal amount. I'll trim that off. Now, yes, this is thinner paper, so you're not going to want to put it up on dimensionals because it doesn't have enough sturdiness. But it does make a nice flat layer because it's got a nice design on it. It's like I don't know, like hash marks, almost like a tweed, I guess. But then I just pulled these strips off so that that extra bulk isn't there. And nobody will ever know, except us, that it was an envelope. Okay? Hello, Bonnie. Welcome. I feel like the gang's almost all here. So here's what I took here, and I'm going to put it on this layer. There is this place on here where it's intended to be for the address, of course. And I'm going to hang on to this because I did have another idea of something that I wanted to do with that. So we'll see if we get to that tonight. So this piece is going to go here, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down now. Juju, do you have anybody else lined up to join your team? You're on fire. So we'll just put this down here. Now, it's not centered, so I am purposefully putting it so that it's more to the left than to the right, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Yeah, Nicole, using the envelopes is pretty popular when they're designed like this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how quickly I want to get a kit done. All right. So then to cover that up, these are from my Stylish Shapes. Oh, no, these are my Nested Essential dies. Sorry. I'm using the one that's almost the biggest one, because the next size down wasn't quite enough to cover this. So I thought I could extend this and make another layer. And what I did was I cut off half of a front layer here, so just 2 1/8. You had 2, but one decided not to, and one's still thinking about it. Awesome. So make sure you try to find the demonstrator planning place. Link to join there. So I cut off half of the front, which is just 2 1/8, because normally it's 4 1/4, so 2 1/8 is half. And that was just wide enough for this. So what I thought I would do is cut out an extended label. So, you know, I put this on and then I had this hanging off my plate. And yes, she does. She's grown a pretty big team already. So worked out fine. I did my first one and then I put the second one on and I forgot to lay it over the side of my plate. So here's what I ended up with. I ended up with 2 pieces instead of the 1 piece I intended. And I thought, that's right, I'm going to try to work with this. I'm just going to see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. I wasn't going to raise these up on dimensionals anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. Juju has the Mojo. All right. It's such a good deal. You know, why not? Why not? You know, $125 worth of stuff for $35. For me, if I hadn't been in it so long already and had some longevity, I would probably quit and join again just to get the kit for that price. And then I'm going to just put this nice and snug up against there so you can hardly see that seam. If you look at it, you'll be able to see. So you told your friend about it and told her to do it, and I was going to send her your link. Yeah, send her your link. Absolutely. Yes, you can absolutely do that. Well, I'm glad this came up tonight before you did that. One of my gals, I really wish she could get somebody to join her team, because then she could promote to a new title, a new level. There's different levels and then you have different perks depending on where you're at. So that would be nice for her. But yes, absolutely, send your person your link. All right, so this, the way these leaves and flowers are, yeah, FaceTime with her. Send her the message, whatever. Oh, that's awesome, Sal. I love that. Thank you. Is that the one? Did you say that you had somebody from Texas or Arizona? Oh, Susan. Hi. I missed you. Welcome. I was looking and I saw Salas said, hello, Susan. I'm like, I don't know, Texas. Okay, good. All right. So this is visible, but not very visible. So when I put these on, nobody's going to know. All right. Nobody is going to know. Now, if we put, I could put the sentiment up here and it would cover it even more and then I wouldn't have to worry about it at all. Or I could put the sentiment like here and cut it off and just put some little words here. What do you think? Should I put the sentiment on top or bury it and trim it off? Stampin' Up! Has never had such a good joint offer in the 20 plus years. That's what everybody has been telling me. Yes. And it's the best one I've seen, but I've only been in it for, you know, like 8 years now. 8.5. So what do we think? Yes, that floral piece is from here. All right. So this was the card that we made with the kit, and then I'm doing it different. Yeah, if anybody needs an ink spot, I have a whole big collection because I typically don't use them. I use the big ink pads. All right, so what do we want to do with the sentiment, do you think? Bury it and just trim some of this white off so that the blue shows under there? Because I like with the blue showing there. I don't like the white under there. Or I could put it on top and hide some of the flowers. Under or over? Under or over? And then what I need to do is I am going to put this sentiment on here that says sometimes life is just hard. You use stays on, undercut the white. That's what I was thinking, Sala. See, you're my soul sister. We're on the same page. So, the woman who owns the coffee shop where I do my coffee in a cart every month, she unfortunately had to put her dog down today. So she's feeling pretty sad. So I'm going to make her a card that just says, sometimes life is just hard. So that's going to go here. So I may even trim this to be more narrow once I get this sentiment on. Yeah, sometimes life is just hard. And I think I will do the same thing with the Secret C. I think I'm going to use the embossing, the Versamark with the clear embossing powder, because I think that will look more polished. And we'll go with that. And what do you use stays on for? I don't use stays on real often. I use it when I do, I make shrinky dinks. Have you guys ever done shrinky dinks? Does the sentiment fit though? The sentiment is actually a little shorter. Oh yeah, you're right. If I put this over here, oh, that is a very good point. It's going to have to go on top. Because I really want, let's, oh, so very sorry. I could do a shorter one. Maybe I'll do the shorter one. This one says, so very sorry. That works too. We'll do that one. I could do stamp surgery, but I was thinking I might do this more narrow. But I've done stamp surgery before. I am not above cutting my stamps, because it makes it easier than trying to mask them off sometimes, right, Sala? All right, so let's go ahead and try this again. And I'm just going to use my embossing buddy one more time. You know all the tricks, don't you, Sala? All right, so we're going to Versamark first. And then we're going to ink. And I still have my clear powder. That's a good thing. We're going to stamp. And we're going to hopefully dip before it dried. Yeah, it worked. Whew. I'm just going to give it 2 coats. Who else has done shrinky dinks? Yeah, I know how that goes. I have a good memory sometimes. It's just short, that's all. Yeah, you can see a lot of things and think, oh yeah, that's cool. Oh, I've seen that before. I love that technique. And then comes time to do it. It's like, oh yeah, what do I need to do now? That's a very thin font, but it is shiny. It's all shiny, so you might not be able to see. All right, we'll move some of this stuff back out of the way. So we can still do this now. And we'll cut it off. And I got that a little bit crooked, so we're definitely going to trim this, I think. So I need to go like to here, I think. Hi, Tanya. Welcome. So I'm just going to take my pencil. Yeah, my granddaughter and I did shrinky dinks. Oh, I must have taken it. We did the butterfly set. She had fun coloring them. She thought that was pretty awesome. So we're just going to take this off to about here. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the sentiment will work even better. And we're not, I mean, it's not like she and I are best buddies. We know each other because I do my coffee and a card there. And she's really a sweet gal. And I think what I want to do here is, I think I want to use my ruler to see if I can get this so that it looks straighter to me. So we'll go like this, and then take it right up. I really had it pretty crooked, and that looks pretty good. I got lucky. So now we're going to see if I can get it to cut how I want it. Ooh, right on the line. I'm having a good night. You ladies are bringing me good luck. There. Alrighty. So this will go here. And then we could even put these flowers up on dimensionals now, or at least part of them up on dimensionals. And maybe even the sentiment. I love fortune cookies. All right, so I think what I want to do is, let's see. Oh, you signed up for the deal this afternoon. Awesome. Good job, Tanya. What a deal, right? What a deal. So dimensionals or no dimensionals? And I think I need to make this a little bit shorter because I want those words kind of nestled in the leaves. Yes, welcome to the wonderful family of Stampin' Up. You did the big one. Was there a big ticket item that you wanted, or you just were anxious to purchase a lot of stuff? So anybody else that's joining, when you put in a supplemental order, now that goes towards, and even Tanya, this will work for you as well. For those of you that are joining now, you know, we go by quarters for the minimum for the quarter for purchases or sales. You got a lot of stuff. That's cool, Tanya. It'll be like Christmas when that box comes, or boxes. But normally you have a 3-month period to get those minimums, all right? When you're joining, it's your first full quarter, so October, November, and December don't count. But whatever you purchase during October, November, and December count toward your first full quarter of January, February, and March. So you basically have 6 full months to skate by with your discount and everything, and you don't have to worry about getting those minimums that first quarter here. Does that make sense? All right. I think, do we want it all on dimensionals? Just the flowers up on dimensionals, part of the flowers up. Maybe I'll put part of the flowers up on dimensionals and part of them flat. We'll give it a little change of pace. I know it was so much fun when I did my starter kit, and I just intended to be a kitnapper. I was not gonna be, yes. You have until the end of March to scrape together your $300 in orders. Yep, absolutely. Your box shipped already? How exciting. Yeah, see, I can see when you're my customer, I can see when your orders ship, but when you're your own customer, I can see that you're on my team, and I can see that you've had purchases or orders, but I can't see any of the status of that. So if you need help with any of that stuff, like your future orders or anything, you let me know and I'm more than happy to help walk you through that stuff. So I think I'll put the sentiment down flat and I'll keep the flowers up over it. Juju, it is so exciting to get that first shipment. Of course, I get excited with every shipment I get. It doesn't matter. Even if it's just all kinds of adhesives that I've purchased. I know, these are really pretty. It was a die, it was a laser cut item from the kit. So it is this Handmade and Heartfelt Kit. This is on sale too. I think it's $28 in the US. All right, so I think I'm gonna glue this down flat. So that's just gonna go just below where I messed up my die cut. But it's not gonna show because of the flowers. So let's just kind of put this where I think I'm gonna want it, because I want some of that blue to show on the other side. All right. And then we'll take these backings off. Yeah, see, when I joined, I did it just for whatever bonus there was at the time. I don't even remember what the deal was. Oh, you got all the embossing stuff. Oh, how fun. Gotta have a take your pick tool. I have, I think at least 7 take your pick tools. I think I have a take your pick tool fetish. But when I have classes, I want to have them available for people to try because they're such a cool tool. And then I have one with my die cutting machine so that I can take all the little bits out. I'm going to move this over just a little bit more to cover up that line. That's going to have to work because that's kind of where it's set. So I think that looks fine. That will be very nice. And then we can use some of these. And she will be very touched to receive a card. She has been the gal that I'm doing this particular card for. For those of you that came late, unfortunately her dog had been sick and elderly, and she had to put her dog down today, so she's very sad. Understandably so. But she is the one that has the coffee shop where I do my coffee and a card every month that we just started a few months ago. And her gathering place is this teal. So you would kidnap a full box of colored cardstock. That's an awesome idea. Vellum, yep. I was so excited to see Vellum was back. But see, you could do all that stuff in your supplemental orders because then you're getting your 20% off. So, and you have, you know, almost 6 months to do that. So anyway, I think I'm going to put some Wink Stella on this for her as well. But her gathering room is all in these teal colors. So you ordered a bunch of the papers or DSPs. Hello, Regina. Yes, I would say I don't recognize your name. Thanks for joining us. We are just making some alternate cards from the World Card Making Day from Saturday. Where did I just leave off? There we go. And chatting about the joining offer that's going on right now. Are you a demonstrator? Are you a hobbyist? What kind of crafts do you do? I keep forgetting where I left off because I look up. No, there really can't be enough. You can never have enough. I'm going to put some more Wink Stella on here. because I want to make these all shimmery. And you won't be able to see the shimmer probably through the camera here. So you make all kinds of greeting cards, you scrapbook, you do journaling. Very nice. And are you a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Or not? All right, so I'm just, as this dries, I'm going to put another layer on all of these just because I like it to be super shimmery. You are serious, Bonnie. I get all the Stampin' Up! Colors just because with all the designer series papers, it's all coordinated. So there's color match between the cardstock and the DSP. All right, so Regina, you're not a demonstrator. So you get to get your things from wherever you want. Not that we can't get things from wherever we want, but I'm pretty much, I was talking about it the other night, I'm kind of a Stampin' Up! Snob just because I like to be able to order from my catalog from my online store. And then I know everything's color coordinated. I get a discount on everything, and then it gets delivered to my door. I don't even have to go anywhere. And I don't have to go from store to store trying to find exactly what I need. So do I need a little bow on here, or do we think we're good with just this simplicity? Nicole, that's hilarious. I love that. That would be my story, and I'd be sticking with it too. I like that. I may have to remember that. So, you know, if you see 12 by 12 paper that you really like, you should cut it down to 6 by 6 right away. And then I do, I make little, let me see if I can find a good one here. I make little holders for my 6 by 6. I don't know if you've seen these before, but I do it so that I use the tag board that's at the back of most of the designer series papers, and then I cut it down so I can put all my scraps in there. So even if it was 12 by 12 before, it goes in here. So I'll cut part of my 12 by 12 just in half, so I've got 6 by 6s, and then I'll do the other section usually in the 4 by 6. So I've got card front sizes like this, and then 6 by 6 sizes if I wanted to do like an envelope flap or something bigger. Yeah, isn't that great? That's her story, and she's sticking with it. So if you want to see how I do those little storage boxes, I think that was my YouTube like from April 26th or something. I don't remember exactly. But sometime in April, I think. Oh. Tanya, you are way better than me, though, using up all your DSP, because I have plenty of DSP. So I think I'm just going to leave this nice and simple like it is. And then I'm going to pull in an envelope so that I don't accidentally cut it up. And I will put a layer inside there. So that one's done. Now let's see what else we have pieces wise. Those were the only ones that I really kind of planned ahead. So this one and this one were the ones that I had in my head what I wanted to do. So now let's figure out what we want to do with, I don't know, Where'd that other rainbow one go? Yeah, it's here somewhere. Maybe. Here. Here's the other rainbow. This one might be my favorite card so far. All right, so this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this down so that we've got some extra layers here. So this I can use for another card. I don't know what. We'll figure it out. We could probably do something like this and use the U3D paper craft. You need 12 by 12. Yes. So if you're doing 3D items, you definitely need the bigger pieces. And you, Sally, you've got a full shelf of 12 by 12 pattern paper. Another one with 6 by 6. Well, but you do a lot of journals, so no, you don't have enough for a lifetime. I'll vouch for you if you need me to. All right. So, do we want to make believe this is still coral, or do we want to make this into a tree? Anybody? Because if we make it into a tree, I think I'm going to end up just fussy cutting part of the trunk. And then this one, I'm just going to make it into a simple card. And I'm going to put it on a different card base, like maybe Secret Sea. Maybe I should do that one first because that'll be easier. Let's see if I have a base handy. I'm going to have to cut a new base. So Bonnie, you've got a confession. You make Christmas cards, but cards are not your forte. The rest of the year, you leave it up to Hallmark. So really then, Bonnie, kits might be your thing. Because the kits have everything you need in there. You don't have to think a whole lot because they're planned ahead. My problem is that I'm usually busy helping other people make, okay, fussy cussing team. Thanks, Juju. I figured that would be your vote. You're probably laughing too. My problem is I help other people make all of their cards, and then when it's time that I need a card, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a card, and it should have been in the mail yesterday. So I get everybody else going with their cards, and then I kind of lose track of the cards I need to do. So I'm really proud that we got this one done, so I can drop it off to Heather tomorrow. All right, so score it 4 1/4, just once. Turn it, cut it at 5 1/2, just once. And now I've got my 2 card bases. That's nothing new, right? Tanya, you're a fussy cutter too, or a fussy cusser? All right, so if I trim this down just a little bit, I'm going to keep just a little bit of that petal pink border. Yes. And a clean desk is a sign of a sick mind. You've heard that too, right? So I think I'm okay. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. All right, so I think that turned out perfect. So what if we put some of these little birds on here? Yay or nay? Or maybe just some flowers at the end of the rainbow. Too bad I don't have another one of those. I kind of like that at the bottom. Oh, of course, if I do a sentiment, what about something just that simple? What do you think? I think it is accurate, don't you? A clean desk is a sign of a sick man. You know, or a sick mind. Um, I used to have a little placard or a little poster thing that actually said that I had on my desk. So Regina, yeah, it does take a lot of time when you've got a lot of paper and stuff, and especially when well, for me at least, when I had like some of my mother's stuff, because we had we put an addition on for my parents to move on, so all of my mother's crafting things were merged with mine. So she had a lot of stuff too that I'm still trying to filter out after she passed away. But with so many papers that didn't go with anything else, I had a hard time matching them up with stuff. So that's why for me, it works so well for me to get the designer series paper from Stampin' Up! And I know I've got cardstock that matches with it. And well, I have every single color of cardstock. So when I get the DSP, I know I have the cardstock to match. I don't think it's an addiction though. Just don't ask my husband. All right, so we'll put this here. We'll go nice and simple on this one too. So let's glue this one down. So you have been able to craft for 18 months. So you had the wrist injury or surgery, right? Is that right? I'm sorry, Nicole, if I don't remember that right. My name is Nicole. I'm addicted to paper crafting. I love that. Yeah, Bonnie, I noticed that I subscribed to your channel last night. It's not like I was stalking you, but I wanted to see what sorts of things that you liked so that I could put an announcement on our little private group. And I didn't realize you hadn't been crafting. Sally, you're funny. Yeah, my suggestion, Regina, is find some paper and start cutting it down for a card and just start putting some things together. If you've got some dies that you really like, cut out all the pieces, cut them out in some different colors and just start throwing stuff together until you see it work together how you like. Just start. I don't think it sucks at all, ladies. I don't think there's anything wrong with us. All right? That's what I'm going with. All right, so this will go here. This can go here. And I wonder, should I do a banner in the Secret C instead so it doesn't, this doesn't feel like it has a place to land. I'm thinking maybe a Secret C piece would be better. What do you think? I mean, just here. And we could emboss in white on it. It wouldn't have to be that size, but do you think that would look better? Yeah, I did a little bit of scrolling, Bonnie, but not a whole lot. I'll go back and I'll look again. Craftalanche, that is a term I've never heard before, but that is my crafting space so often. Because you guys will even hear me say, oh, I think I'm going to have an avalanche. I'm going to try to remember it's a craftalanche. Oh, that's great. You guys are teaching me all these new words. I love it. And I find that I am not alone in my crafting habits. We could also do white, but I think that's just, well, we could do white with some Secret C sentiment on here. Yes, I have to frequently reorganize my crafting space when I'm going to have like a team meeting or a open studio time for people to come over. I think the Secret Sea is winning me over. What do you think? I say I'm okay at least once every 2 lives. That's funny. So you made cool stuff, no dyes. Sewing machine, camper and other stuff. You love making big stuff. Oh, cool. Yep, Nicole, good advice. Just start cutting it up. All right, so are we thinking Secret Sea? And I would make it more narrow than this. So it's not quite so big. And then maybe emboss it with white. Yeah, yay or nay? Otherwise, I'm just going to start doing it pretty soon. And this one, I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably, I couldn't find any designer series paper that I liked for under there. Of course, a solid cardstock might work, but I couldn't find a color I really liked. So I may still have to work with that. All right, so let's find a sentiment here. So let's see what else we have from this set. Hello Sunshine. That's the one that I was supposed to do that I messed up on the other day when we did the original one. I accidentally put thanks so much and it was supposed to be Hello Sunshine. I didn't fix that yet. So maybe I can fix that now and I'll just glue it on top of there. Nobody will ever know but us. I like the blue, not black. This is blue. This is Secret Sea. It's a very dark blue. It's darker than Night of Navy, but it's not black. Let me get some black and see if you can see the difference. All right, so this is black, and this is Secret Sea. Yeah, from where you are, it probably does look black, but it is Secret Sea. Where's that ink pad? Right here. So it's this ink pad, Secret Sea. So it's deeper than a Night of Navy. Can you tell the difference now? Yeah, you can see a little bit there. You can see the difference. So this is black, this is not. This is a blue. And it's the same blue that's in these little triangles on the arch. It's the same blue as this arch and the same blue as those dashes there. All right, so Nicole, I'm just reading your notice now. So you're still in your corrective plaster for another month. Well, you are making progress. Oh, I remember we were talking about that because I asked you if you had like a boxer's fracture. I don't know if we ever talked any more about that. Yes, we will all keep you in our thoughts and prayers for some healing, and hopefully you're not in pain. That's the big thing, right? And making a fist is a good thing. All right, so I'm going to move that black out of the way. And we're going to do Hello Sunshine. And I think I'm going to do that whole embossing thing again with the Night of Navy and the Versamark. Just because I like how those look with it shiny. And making sure I'm pulling in my clear powder. I have to move some of these things because it's really getting crazy here. All right. Well, we can pray for lots of patience. How's that sound? Yeah, I remember. How long it's been over a year for you? Or 18 months, did you say? How long has it been? I have to look back and see some of these comments. Sometimes I miss stuff because it scrolls up, and I apologize for that. Yeah, that's a good point, Bonnie. So I just remember when I shattered my big toe, and they couldn't really do any kind of surgery or anything to fix that. And I just realized my camera's a little crooked, isn't it? I was in a boot, non-weight bearing, for about 12 weeks. And then I had to wear the boot even longer. So it was, I can appreciate your frustration. And it does take time. So hopefully healing will come. All right. Let's just see how this looks. Oh, this one I have to do in white though, because otherwise it won't show up. So let me get the white. And I'm going to move the clear out of the way. 18 months, that is a very long time. Very long time. Yeah, patience of Job. I'm not a very patient person either, so I get it. I'm going to put this up near the top, I think. So then I only have to trim one side. And again, I have my fan going, so I want to make sure I get that embossing powder on there before the ink has a chance to dry. Why never pray for patience? Do you think you lose your motivation to get better? Just curious. Oh, that kind of took those off of there. I was trying to brush some of that powder off where it didn't belong. Hopefully you can see me. I guess I didn't zoom in my camera today. Nobody complained though. All right, so I'm going to get the white out of the way if I can find the lid. Here it is. Because the next one I will use the clear on. So let's do this one. See, a crafting community is so much more than crafting, isn't it? When you kind of get to know each other and hold each other up. I think that's great. That's probably why I stayed with Stampin' Up. You never had any patience, Bonnie? All right, we can put those there. So this will move out of the way. This is for here. So I'm just going to trim this down narrower. And I think we're just going to have another nice simple card. And I'm using these grid lines along here just to see that I've got it straight there. Because with the dark paper, it's kind of hard to see if my sunshine was straight or not. And how does one get patience? Yeah, me, it's just I have to tell myself to get over it and just get over it, I guess. Sometimes I figure it's just my lot in life to have troubles. So now I wonder if I should have made this banner go all the way across. Or do you think it looks better? Does it look okay with the flower? I should have made this banner go all the way across, huh? That might have looked better. Live and learn, right? So that's, let's see how wide this is. So about 7/8 of an inch. And then we'll do four ought to work. Yep, 4 inches. You like it short? I'm not sure. I'm just gonna cut this down and we'll see how it looks with a full banner. It just seemed like those corners were kind of harsh. So if this is here, we'll pretend it says Hello Sunshine on there. We can still put this on here. What do you think that way? The rain brings rainbows, flowers, and settles the dust. Yes, it does. So we've got that, or this where it's just kind of hanging here. All right, we can think on that one. I'm going to start. Yep, that's what I was thinking too, the longer one. As soon as I saw it short, it's like, oh, I think it needs a longer one. Now if I position, excuse me, if I position that flower just right, I could almost just glue those together and nobody would ever know. I'd have to trim this one just a little bit more. Yeah, the longer one, it's going to be it. So I think we're just going to redo this. All right, Versamark, Hello Sunshine. Does anyone here do Zentangle? Is that like a puzzle thing? I do not, if that's what it is. And I'm going to put this off to the right though still. And I need to get that white embossing powder again. All right, so Juju, you're bad at Zentangle. Is that some kind of puzzle or what is that? Oh, okay, drawing. Are Zen cards similar to that, Juju? Because it seems like I've seen Zen cards. Excuse me. My problem is I can't sit still long enough to do it. I have always had jobs where I'm pretty much always up and at 'em on the go. And even now that I retired, I seldom sit down during the day. I'm still usually doing stuff, moving around. Cards with a pattern on each. I could probably do small cards, but coloring is typically kind of not my thing. I can see where some people find it really relaxing though. And then I'm going to save that because I might be able to use that on something else. And then I think I'm going to just glue this flat on here. I could put it on dimensionals, but then we have the same problem with those edges, right? So we'll just glue it flat. 320 alcohol marker sets, that's a lot. I love the alcohol blends though. I've only ever used the Stampin' Up! Ones though. I know there's some other ones that some of the gals that I craft with use. So this I could put up on a dimensional though. Then I think that kind of grounds the rainbow even just a little bit more. And then we have these gems here. These are like gold ones that have like glitter in them. Well, that sounds pretty cool actually. All right, I want to save some of these because we still have some other cards. Otherwise, I would put more. Isn't there one like Coptics or something? Copics? I don't know, there's some other alcohol blend that one of the gals I craft with makes. All right, and then this one I'm gonna redo, since I've got all my embossing stuff, I'm gonna do thanks so much on here. Copic. Okay, is that how you say it, Copic? Phonetics would say Copic because you've got a vowel with only one consonant in between the two vowels. All right, so I need Hello Sunshine still. Oops. And then we're going to do Versamark. Oh, the Copics are expensive, huh? I figure the Stampin' Blends are not inexpensive, but I don't know how much Copics are. I'm trying to get this dark enough. I really think this stamp pad needs to be re-inked. All right, and now I need my clear embossing powder. Yeah, I've heard they're really good. And it seems like they have a big color line. Oh, that's a nice feature if they can be refilled. I know some people refill the Stampin' Blends. All right, let me put the cover on this, put these away, or out of the way. Versamark. What do I do with my tweezers? Here we go. All right, a little more heat action. I think they probably have found that people are willing to pay a little bit more if they can refill them because it seems like a better value. Okay, that looks nice. And now this one is going to get glued right on top of there because I messed up the sentiment when I did that one. And we're the only ones that are gonna know. And I don't wanna peel this one off of here just because it's holding my twine, and I kinda like how my twine is positioned, and I don't wanna rip anything or wrinkle anything. So we're just gonna attach this down pretty good and call it a day. It's like everything else. They're patented. Yeah, that's like some of the positioning tools also. Stampin' Up! Had a really nice one, but the Misty didn't like that Stampin' Up! Had a nice one and started some litigation, and Stampin' Up! Just figured it wasn't worth the fight, so they took theirs off the market, which is unfortunate because it had some other features that the Misty didn't have. So it just seems strange that some of these things, the different companies can make very similar items and nobody says boo, and then other items they make a big stink about if there's something similar. I just don't get it. All right, there we go. All right. So I really kind of like this flat version. Yeah, you're right, Bonnie. Everybody likes what they like. You get used to something and that's what you like. All right, I'm gonna wash these couple of stamps here. We're done with Hello Sunshine for now. Make sure I clean the birthday one. All right, so this is the first one. This is the remake. They're both cute. I might like this one better just because of the white background. What do you think? Yeah, but you know, with the Misty, there were several other companies that have, like Tim Holtz had a positioning tool, Holtz, and I've seen a few others. And the Stampin' Up! One had really different versions. So, yeah, from what I saw, I thought the Stampin' Up! One was better. I have 3 of them, so I won't get rid of mine. I just hope, like, when the patent period is over, that maybe they can release theirs again. I don't know how long that patent stands for before it kind of opens up to the market. All right, so the last one we're on then for tonight is this Fussy Cussing one. So let's just see what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put my dies away here. So We Are Memory Keeping has one that's 12 by 12. Yeah, that was the nice thing about the Stampin' Up! One, was because it was open on 2 sides, you could put your 12 by 12 paper in there as long as you were doing like a corner section. And that was one of the big differences. And the thing is, I saw some other advertisement just in the last couple of days that had the plate notches, and it looked exactly like the Stampin' Up! One, and it was a new product. So, kind of strange. All right, so let's fussy cut and see what our little trunk looks like. Wish me luck. Because I'm just going to kind of curve it out. And kind of make it look a little rough-ish. I need to make this side look a little more rough. And I suppose it wouldn't really matter what I do with the bottom here because I'll probably end up trying to hide it with a sentiment. Yeah, you're probably right. But you know, with all the, you know, the tool and die setup or whatever it takes to do that, that's a big expense. I would think it would be a big expense. But, you know, maybe if the sales make it worth it. Yep, you like what you like, right? Does that kind of look like a tree? Or not so much? Maybe I should just leave it as coral and put shells over it. I don't know, I think it looks a little more like a tree now. What do you think? So it's no longer coral, it is a tree. And then we have to decide, do we want it on this pretty in pink, or do we want to do something like this instead? Make it look more tree-like. Yeah, when I first saw that, all I saw was a tree. This looks kind of dingy to me. What do you think? Maybe I should try to find a green, or maybe very vanilla would work. Let me think. Do you like it on the petal pink? Does it look enough like a tree? Because we've got, if I can find what I did with them. Okay, I've got another stamp set I'm looking for. It's probably with another project that had like the tree. So the pink and the blue. Bonnie, no, the other. So you're saying with the like the crumb cake, whatever this is? Like that. Okay, so like this, I think. This just looked, with the brown just looked dingy to me. It just doesn't look like it belongs that way. All right, so let me get, here's the petal pink. Misty Moonlight. We could do some old olive. Let me go get an old olive once. Now, here we go. Nope. Here we go. Yep. I have some projects in working on. I don't know if that'll look right. But what I was thinking is we could use these autumn trees. Oops. So there's a die that cuts this out, and we could make it look even more tree-like. What do you think? And this is from the Autumn Trees bundle. So there's this piece. Let me cut that out of the old olive, and we'll just see what this color combination looks like. It might not work. but you don't know if you don't try. There goes my Craftalanche. I'm going to run this through a second time because my bottom plate is kind of warped. And I'm just going to move this over to a different spot. All right. I like that I have a craft table that doesn't seem to mind when I use a darker pink, then it'll look like cherry blossom. Oh, that's a good idea. Because I think that probably would work better with this Lost Lagoon. So a darker pink. What about like cherry cobbler? Instead of, yeah, this was just in my package as a pre-cut piece, so that's why I just laid it out there so we could kind of get the idea. Because I've got cherry cobbler, or the other things that I have are like really peach colored. This is Cajun Craze. If Sal is still here. Of course I have Cajun Craze available. Although, you know what I could do is I could use this as a mask. I could do some ink blending on there and then put these on top of the ink blending. I could do like a pecan pie or something. Let me see if I, Fresh Freezer Bubble Bath. Let's take a look. Well, let's cut them out and see, because just seeing these swatches here, I can't really tell if I'm going to like it. Sally, you don't have an issue with crushed curry. Oops. Now, with some of my dyes, I would consider doing 2 layers at once, but this one is so intricate, I just won't. Now, what did I do with the dye? All right. Oh, here it is. Phew. Oh, crushed curry, yeah, Cajun Craze. That's what I meant, actually. All right, let's... Ooh, that is just the right width. Night of Navy might work. Oh, we could even try a Secret Sea. And again, I'm just going to change the angle a little bit so it cuts through. I was just thinking something more naturally tree colored. There's just a couple little scraps in there. Had to give them some tough love to get them out of there. Yeah, the Secret Sea is the color that's in the kit. Well, that's kind of cool. Do we still want to try the Secret Sea or not? Because we could put some of the Old Olive behind. Now you can't even see any of the mask, which is maybe not a bad thing. So should I cut out the Secret Sea? I've just never seen the dark. Oh, of course, if it was like a night, but the trunk wouldn't be bright. I'm just trying to wrap my head around the dark blue. So these are very delicate. You're way too invested now. I can do it with the blue. I can try it with the blue. It might look really cool. I think maybe if I put these maybe a little more scattered, I could always trim off part of this too. Because it's almost like I want to see some of that. What if we put some of this under? No, that doesn't show. You don't know if you don't try. So this is the bubble bath. Yeah, I'd have to put dimensions on each of those layers for sure. You can see a little bit of the blue peeking through. Maybe I should try it with the Secret Sea. Or you know what might be fun? I thought I had, I know it's here somewhere, a partial base of that Secret Sea layer. I'll try to find it. I've got my craft lamp going on. Here we go. So I could do a die cut out of this. You want to see some of that too? That's funny. Pun intended, right? All right, let's do this. And you'll notice that I'm staggering my plates. If there's anybody new watching, I do that intentionally. So that it's easier for the machine to push it through. Okay, that cut really nicely. Kind of unconventional, but a lot of times that works. So what do we think? Yes? Or I wonder, I have another little idea here. I may not have another piece of that. So instead of the green, oh, the pink. Maybe if I did a petal pink layer instead of bubble bath. I need to get a piece of petal pink. And I was thinking if I had another piece of this, I could have done, a die cut of that. I do have the envelope though. I could do it in this design. So the secret C behind the green. I think the green looks better than the pink, personally. But the petal pink might look really good too. I don't know if the scrap I have is big enough. Oh, just that'll work. There's a couple of pieces in here I have to pop out so that it'll cut. There. All right, so we will try the petal pink. Nothing wrong with pop art. You're right. It's our card. So we can make it look however we want. Well, the dark blue could just indicate that it's in the shadows. And I could even do some ink blending behind here, behind the tree trunk, to make it look more brown. And then I'm going to try to get this popped out of there. And then I'm going to do a piece out of this envelope, and we'll just see how that looks. The dark blue does actually look pretty nice in there. See, sometimes you just have to see it to believe it. So maybe that's the problem all along. I need to get a different card base. What a simple solution that would have been, hey? So why didn't somebody say that before? Now look at that. How awesome is that? That looks really pretty cool. Because now it looks like the tree is in the dark shadows. You were trying to be polite. Well, it wouldn't have offended me if we got rid of that bottom card base. I was just trying to use up pieces. You know, I kind of try to go with the flow. All right, I'm going to put this on my magnet so I don't lose it. I appreciate the properness though, Sela. Thank you for trying to spare my feelings. All right, so we could do, I kind of like the green. I kind of like that. Is that pop art-ish? So the shades of blue. Do you think that looks better than a green in there? Because now the green is kind of throwing me. I'm thinking I'm liking the blues better. Whose idea was that anyway? I think I like the blues better. All right, so with or without the pink? I think the pink gives it a nice pop. Hello, sunshine. All three. Variation. And with, since we've got this card base color matched in here, I am not missing that. But at least that was my inspiration for a tree. And that fussy cussing tree trunk's not too bad. I like it. I do like it. And then we could even tuck that sentiment in the tree trunk. Would that look too silly? Or do we want to make that visible? Of course, that right on top of there would look pretty nice too. All right, I'm going to glue down this base while you ladies are thinking. I'm just going to put just a couple little dabs of glue on here. Maybe it doesn't want to come out. This is my brand new bottle too. Oh, there we go. I'm trying not to press too hard because I don't want big globs of glue. All right. So these, I think what I'm going to do is, good grief, I kind of think it disappears the trunk if the sentiment strip is the same color. Okay, fair enough. I just had this because it was there. Maybe how about pink all the way across? That could work. Then a Secret C sentiment on there. Oh, don't worry about the typos. I don't care. If I don't understand, I'll ask. And I've asked. Not tonight, but I'm getting it tonight. So this I'll still save for something else. I like those. I think I'm going to get a little sponge. And I'm going to maybe sponge a little ink on the centers of these. And then maybe do a couple of little mini dimensionals behind different layers to let it hold up. So let me get a sponge. Oh, I had a sponge right at my sink. And we'll get a silicone pad. Yep. Oh, I know. I need to find, I don't want to use the silicone brushes that I already have. I need to find another one and just cut off the bristles. I've seen that several times recently, and I need to do that. I just haven't gotten around to it. All right, so let's start with this one. All right. And I think I'm just going to let that one, let those edges kind of hang off. And then I may be letting all the edges hang off. Hopefully that's enough glue. Got so quiet in here, I'm concentrating. I think we're gonna go this way with it. And I think I may just leave those branches the way they are. I'm not even gonna put any dimensionals under them. Well, maybe I need to just for purposes of getting it in the envelope. But having them down in the centers, these are actually pretty stable, except for this panel right here. So I think I'll get a little black dimensional and pop it under there. Nobody will ever see it. Maybe one under there too, just to be safe. Yeah, the last time I was at the store, actually, funny you should mention that, silicone pastry brush. I was actually looking for one, and the only ones they had were like a fancy name brand. and they were in some kind of set, and I wasn't going to pay that much just because I know I'm going to cut it down. I'll cut the tips down so that they're controllable, you know. Very nice. And I got a little bit of dimensional adhesive popping through here. So we will use a little embossing buddy on there, and nobody will ever know. All right. So now rinse my sponge out a little bit there. I'll just let my silicone mat dry. I find it's much easier to just peel the dried glue off than it is to rinse it off when it's wet. I don't know why that is, but when I try to wash it off, when I first tried to wash it off, all it did was cling to my silicone mat. Yeah, and I didn't have time that day. I just was looking at the store I happened to be in. And keep in mind that I'm not a big shopper. Oh, I like these. Should I put them in the tree? I think maybe in the tree. They'll be like fake fruit. Oh, I could put that over where my dimensional adhesive was hanging out. One more. I like this. Just try, there we go. I wanted to get it under that set of leaves there. All right, so now we have to figure out what we're going to do for a sentiment. We could do a little short sentiment. I don't want to cover up. I could go here, or we could do it all across the bottom like that. Would probably look good. So I've got a little bit of trunk above and below. Now I could banner those ends, or I could angle them, or we could have it straight across end to end. What do you think? What do you think? And I'm going to save all of these because those are good colors to make something else. Any suggestions as to the size of that banner? We're going to keep it all the way across or trim it down, flag end it as it is. Okay. Nicole, it's up to you because you're the first one that responded. All right, I'm just trying to get these tree pieces back in this little pouch and they don't want to go. There we go. All right. So now I just need to find a narrow sentiment. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see. We got that one that says many thanks. A banner with flaggings would look great too. All right, let's see. I'm just looking. There's got to be something. Let me look on these. I could just do grateful for you on there. That would fit. I know, so many options. And then we could pretend it's an oak tree, and I could put a little oak leaf on there too, but I don't want to make it look too silly. All right, let's say grateful for you, maybe. We had a tree set too. It's retired now. Twisted in Time. Let's see what that looks like. We kind of redid it, right? Thank you for the little things. I think this is gone though. I'd rather use something that's current. 65. Yeah, so that one's not current anymore. I'll save that for something that I'm not doing online, I guess. Let's see what else. What else do we have? I know, too bad there isn't one that says seize the day. No, well, not unless it's somebody who knows about the secret sea. Wishing you all the best. Why not? That'll fit. I think sentimental framing is still, we'll see. Yeah, this is still good. Let's do this one. Wishing you all the best, I think. I think that'll fit. That'll fit. All right, shiny embossing or plain old Secret Seize the Day ink? Yeah, I need to, I wish I would keep up better with inventorying my sentiments so that I could find what I'm looking for. This kind of looks like it's not laying flat to me. And I didn't do surgery on it either. I thought maybe I had, but I didn't. Oops. I guess that's pretty straight. Must just be my eyes. Too big or too small. Well, and I could have made this a wider strip too, but I want to see the tree trunk above and below. So that's why I did it as narrow as I did. I could have probably spread those tree branches out a little further too, because it looks kind of tall and narrow, but I could probably slide some other extra pieces below there. I'd have to cut more out. So that'll be a project for another day because I'm not going to do that now. Yeah, I know of a lot of people that actually do that. They get the cards ready. And then I've even had like some of my ephemera packs. So you make the card, it looks nice, and then you decide what it needs to be when you're ready to give it. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So we're going to do Versamark first. And then our Secret C. Kind of got buried, and then I need to get a spoon quick. And I don't know where my tweezers went. Oh, let's stamp this first. Don't put Versamark or embossing powder rather on my stamp. That would be bad news. I can tell it's getting late when I start almost making mistakes or making more mistakes, because it's almost 2 a.m. by me. All right. Cover. I don't know where my tweezers ended up going. I know they're here somewhere. Found them. Beautiful. All right. And then this. I could put that up on dimensionals. Tweezers. We're getting down to the finish line. Let go. I don't want it to sit down there yet. All right. What do you think? And I'm thinking that I am not going to be happy until I add some more leafiness to this. So, a little more leafiness. I think if I just cut one more, I can cut it in half. I did put some bling on it already. So I put some of those blue, the Lost Lagoon sequins on there. I've got 5 of them on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if you can see the, yeah, you can see the glimmer there. And then there's one there near the top you can see. Gotta have bling. And I just had another thought of what I could do, just to kind of finish it off. I'll get that in a minute here. Oh, we totally changed horses in the middle of the stream on that one a couple of times, didn't we? All the little pieces are popping out. There we go. All right, so here I'm just going to start doing a little bit of surgery here. And we'll add a little bit up there. So that can go there. That just makes it, it fills it out a little bit more. And a little bit there. What do you think of that? I think it just needed to be a little more full. No worries. So those will go there. I like it a little more rounded instead of just tall and slender. We have a very tall and slender tree. It's an ornamental peach tree that my husband planted, I don't know, last year or the year before. And it is seriously like straight up and down 20 feet tall, and it just looks kind of silly to me. All right, so the other thing I want to try is, since we were talking about alcohol markers, I am going to, we could put a little dot, 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 because there's dots here. If we did a dot, 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 just for a little something extra. And then I'm going to do just a little splatter. It's subtle, but I like it. Just softens it up a little bit. All right, that's that one. I will glue those other pieces of leaves in there later. Thank you for your collaboration on this one. We lost a few people. I think we went a little later than some people care to stay up. But that's all right. Thanks everyone who hung in there with us. You just never know what it's going to look like until it's done. All right, so this one, this was a fun one, wasn't it? I like that. And I'm almost thinking that maybe I should have 2 more. We'll just put a little bit more bling up here in the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got an odd number. I think that looks pretty good. Hopefully you can see them all shimmering. I think that looks good. So there's one of our cards. Here's another one. Here's another one. So this was the original. Here's the remake. Here is the original. Here's the remake. Here is the original and the remake. And then this one is the original and the remake. We did good. 1, 2, 3. We did 4 cards. So the only one that I have left is I didn't do another remake of this one tonight. So, and I'm not going to. We're done. We did a great job tonight. Thumbs up. Oh, in case Amanda's watching. Thumbs up. Awesome. So that's my little YouTube. I got this when we were on vacation. I think we were in Tennessee. And I found these at a store. So thank you all for joining me. It makes it more fun when there's people collaborating. And I agree. I think we did a really nice job. I think we did a very nice job. Also, she's at school already. Sorry I missed it. I didn't get to say goodbye. All right, so thank you all for joining me. I love the cards that we created. I appreciate all of the collaboration and welcome to the new ones who came, even if you're not still hanging out. But until next time, I'll be back in like, I don't know, 21 hours-ish, something like that. Until next time, happy crafting.